We were playing at Disneyland in California, summertime of '64, and Snuffy Garrett says, I got this song called This Diamond Ring. He says, would you like to do it? It did sell 1 million records in about 6 weeks. Went to #1 in the country, and it kicked the Beatles out of #1.
Something could happen on this show. You never can tell.
Hi, everybody. This is Pam from the Rock and Roll Show. I'm here with Joe, my partner in crime, and our special guest. And I'm not going to tell you who yet. So Joe is going to do the honors. Joe, how's it going?
I'm doing great, Pam. Thank you very much. And it's always a pleasure to be with you and to see everybody out there. Thank you all. A lot of great Dick Biondi film fans out there. Thank you so much for all of your support. Follow the film on dickbiondifilm.com. Also our Facebook group and our Facebook page. Yes, I have my Dick Biondi Film shirt on. Hey, it'd be a nice Christmas gift. Go to our website. Maybe a coffee mug, maybe a Dick Biondi shirt. Be a nice little stocking stuffer. How about that?
Yeah.
And we also have a really awesome YouTube channel. You got to check that out. A lot of great stuff on there. A lot of stuff, great stuff going on with the Dick Biondi Film. All right. When British groups of the 1960s were dominating the music scene, there were a few successful bands, American groups, that were just striking it big on the American charts. Gary Lewis and the Playboys. And it is our honor and our pleasure to have on our show, the Rock and Roll Show of Pam and Joe, Mr. Gary Lewis. Gary, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Hi, Gary. What a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Wow.
Pleasure.
I'm a fan. I've been listening to your music my whole life. I'm a baby boomer, and I grew up on your music. It's just the best. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, Gary. And I became a fan of your music. I was born in 1972, and I first became aware of your music through Dick Biondi, when Dick Biondi was a DJ at WJMK in Chicago in the early 1980s. And I became a fan of Dick Biondi, and I became a big fan of your music as well. Awesome stuff, buddy.
Great. All right.
So Gary,
yeah,
I seem to recall that we might have a mutual friend, Michael G. Bush, the rock and roll photographer.
Yeah.
Is he a friend of yours? Oh,
sure. I've known him, my gosh, since I think probably the late 70s.
Okay.
I always used to see him at all the gigs. He was always taking pictures. And this went on for years before I finally met him. He came backstage one night in Chicago at the Star Plaza. I don't even think it's there anymore.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, that's where I met him, and so we've been friends, and I like his work.
And did you come to Chicago to his exhibit?
I did. I did.
Thought you did.
Myself and my wife, Donna, we came. We did the whole exhibit thing during the day. We did all the promotional stuff for his show. And it was great. It was great. And he was real happy we came in.
I'll bet he was. I was there that night, and I was roaming around with my camera doing a live video for Facebook, but I did not see you that night. I didn't get the pleasure to meet you, but I heard you were there. So very cool.
Oh, yeah, I was.
So
that's awesome.
Did you ever meet Dick Biondi? Do you know Dick?
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding? I loved Dick since 1964.
Really?
Yes, he was working at a station called KRLA in Los Angeles. And that's when we were doing all of our recording. And every time we got done with a single, they would press up a test pressing for me, and I would immediately drive over to the station. I'd walk in, and Dick was right in the front door there. You could see him in the little booth. And I'd hold up this test pressing, and he'd say, "Come on in, I'll put it on." And every single I did this, and he put it on right away. Those were the days where he didn't have to talk to a program director or anything. He would just put them on. So Dick actually really got the ball rolling really good in a big market for me. And so I love him.
Oh, that's
Wow,
awesome.
that's
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. And then about 10 years ago, me and Dick were both inducted into the Writers Hall of Fame in Binghamton, New York. Both of us the same night. We were both inducted. Myself as an artist and him as a DJ. And so, I spent the whole day with him again, and it's wonderful reminiscing. I loved it.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
And Gary, you echo a lot of, we've had guests on before, and just talking about those special times in the 1960s when it seems like the DJ and the artist were so closely connected, and the DJ, if he played, for example, one of your hit records, odds are, if Dick Biondi puts that album on, it's going to be a hit.
And that's exactly the way I felt too. Dick was doing it. He didn't know if those songs were going to go, but he had to have had faith in me to put them right on before they were even pressed. And I thought the world of him for doing that stuff. And because of the success I had, I got to give him a lot of the credit for that.
That's magnificent.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
great.
great.
Awesome.
Gary, you were the eldest of 6 boys. You
Right.
grew up in a Bel Air mansion with a famous father, Jerry Lewis,
Mm-hmm.
and your mother was in show business as well.
Right.
I wonder if you can share some of your favorite childhood memories, and how did growing up in that atmosphere shape the person that you became?
Well, I'd say my mom was more responsible for shaping me for what I was going to do in my life, because she was the girl singer in the 40s for Jimmy Dorsey's orchestra.
Wow.
And,
That's awesome.
and she sang on stage until she was 8 months pregnant with me. So I know that that's where I got my musical talent from.
That's awesome.
And so just walking around the house, my mom would say, "Gary, come to the piano with me. Let me play some stuff. We can sing together." And that's what we did. My whole growing up life, playing the piano with my mom and singing with her. And as a result, I had no idea that I was going to know so much about 40s music one day. And I love listening to 40s music. It's big band stuff is just great. My mom was, she had such a cute voice, and I used to love to hear her sing. And she sang and played piano and walked around the house with her accordion, just playing and singing.
How cool is that?
It was like, this is what she did every day, and it was great. I loved it.
That's fantastic. And when you're talking about your mom, your eyes just light up. It's just.
She's still the great. 99th birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Happy birthday. 99. That's awesome. Wow.
It really is.
So how did your parents how did they like the fact that you went into music, your career in rock and roll?
Well, my mom, she told me, she said, It doesn't really matter to me what you want to do with your life, but whatever it is, you got to love it with all your heart and give it 100%. And she only had to tell me that one time,
That's
because
great.
that's the way I do it. Even now, I'm so blessed with having this many years, 56 years, and and having the hits that I had, and never stopped playing for crowds all around the world, actually.
That's awesome.
And they still love it. And I still love doing it.
You are so lucky. I mean, how many people get to say that,
That's right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely right.
But you're also very talented, you really
Thank
are.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe, you were going to ask about the drums, weren't you?
Yes, I had. You started playing the drums when you were about 5 years old,
Right.
and can you tell us a little bit about that special person
Oh, yeah.
who gave you those drum lessons? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I would always go out to this special room in the house where the drums were all set up and everything, and I would just play. So one day, this friend of my dad's came over and said, "Hey, kid, let me show you a few things on the drums." And this went on for 7 years until I was 12 years old. And then all of a sudden, I found out this friend of my dad's was Buddy Rich.
Oh my gosh.
That
Whoa.
is sensational. What was that? What was that like? What memories can you recall? How was he as a teacher or a mentor on the drums for you?
Well, I think he was pretty darn good. I mean, when he first told me he's going to show me some stuff, I mean, he really let go, and he just went all over the place. And I said, I don't think I can do that.
He was a wild man.
But then he slowed it down, and he just showed me rudiments.
Oh my goodness.
And just to get the feel, the beat, because playing the drums, you got to get like 3 things going at one time, and they're all in different time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no problem with it.
You couldn't ask for a better teacher than him. I mean, come on.
Well, I actually couldn't believe it, and I was just thrilled to death, with the training that I got so young. Really panned out nice too, that I knew how to play drums and guitar.
When did you start playing the guitar? Because I noticed in the beginning you were behind the drums singing, and then all of a sudden you came forward. And I had watched a Mike Douglas interview where you said that the guitar player had quit the band because he didn't think the band was going to make it. And is that when you decided, or had you already decided to play guitar?
I think I lied to Mike Douglas.
Oh.
Yeah, because that didn't really happen.
Oh.
The reason is that I was doing all the lead singing from behind the drums, and I had cymbals all in front of me. I couldn't see the crowd. They couldn't see me. Mm-hmm. And I had too much energy to sit still for an entire show. Mm-hmm. So I played drums for just the first year that we were out. And then I came up front and started playing guitar so I could walk up and see the people and see them smiling. And it was just so much better for me.
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I hired another drummer.
How did the band form?
Well, we were in a theater arts college in Pasadena, California. And I'm doing plays, I'm on stage in plays wearing leotards and tights and doing Greek tragedy and stuff. And I said, this is going nowhere for me. I really don't care for this. And right when I started thinking that, the Beatles came out in America. And I said, this is what I want to do right here. And so I formed up the original Playboys from classmates in different classes at school. And we rehearsed for like 6 months, just building up a repertoire of songs. And we played sororities and fraternities in Pasadena. And we did that for about a year. And then we got asked to do, first of all, we recorded This Diamond Ring in November '64. And then we got asked to do the Ed Sullivan Show in December of '64. And so we did the show, we debuted This Diamond Ring. It went to #1 in the country for us, you know, because everybody in the world watched Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, you know. And so he asked us on 5 more times with the next 5 singles.
Amazing.
And what an impact back then, you know, to do the Ed Sullivan Show, to debut a new song. It was almost a sure to hit. The first 7 records I ever put out all went top 10.
Pretty amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about This Diamond Ring, and also, if you wouldn't mind sharing some other memories about your other magnificent hits, Count Me In and Everybody Loves a Clown. I mean, just great songs.
First of all, let me tell you this. Snuffy Garrett was my producer. And we were playing at Disneyland in California, summertime of '64. And Snuffy Garrett was out at the park with his family, you know, and he introduced himself. He said, I'm head of A&R at Liberty Records, and you guys sound pretty good. I'd like to talk to you about doing some recording. And I thought to myself, wow, isn't that the way everybody wishes it would happen? And he says, I got this song called This Diamond Ring. We offered it to the Drifters because the writer of the song, Al Cooper, he said he wanted the Drifters to do this song. So the Drifters listened to it and they didn't like it. So they turned it down. So then Snuffy Garrett says, well, I'm going to offer it to Bobby V then. And Bobby V didn't like it. So he says, would you like to do it? Now, this time, I would have done anything. You know, I would have done any song he suggested. But it just happened to be This Diamond Ring. And my God, it went up the charts so fast that Snuffy was worrying about if it would sell because it was going up the charts so fast. But it did sell 1 million records in about 6 weeks. Went to #1 in the country, and it kicked the Beatles out of #1.
Woo! Awesome. I love that. American roots right here.
Yeah.
Knock those English boys right off there. I'm sorry, guys, but you know what? I like American rock and roll.
I know. And the Beatles were the ones that got me interested in rock and roll in the first place.
Here's a band that really influenced you to pursue your rock and roll dreams. And a short time later, you're knocking them off the #1 spot with This Diamond Ring.
And the Beatles kept coming back with hit after hit after hit, and so did I.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, myself and the Beach Boys were the only 2 American acts that stayed on the top 10 with the British invasion.
That's quite a remarkable thing to say, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm just happy about everything.
Yeah, you seem happy, Gary. That's awesome.
Terrific. Yes.
So what about your other songs? Anything you want to tell us about some of your other records?
Count Me In was written by a guy who played with Buddy Holly's Crickets way back, and his name is Glenn D. Harden. And we had spent all day in the studio recording songs, you know, just gonna put them in the can and release them when we felt like it. And so we did about 4 songs. It's about 4 in the morning and everybody's tired. And here walks Glenn in the studio. He says, I just finished this song. You got to hear it. So he plays it for Snuffy Garrett. And our arranger was Leon Russell, too, by the way.
Whoa.
Who's big.
Yeah.
very big.
Yeah.
And Snuffy says, "Oh, that's fantastic. Come on, let's set up and do it now." And I said, "Now? We're dead. We're dead in here. We're falling down, you know." He says, "Sometimes the best recordings will come out of that feeling." And we did. And Count Me In went to #2 in the country. And then the next song that we had out was Save Your Heart for Me. We changed the pace up a little bit, went with a slow song. This song was originally done in '61 by Brian Hyland. He did the original recording of Save Your Heart for Me, but it went nowhere at all, just nowhere. So Snuffy Garrett thought the timing was right for me to do our version of it. And that went to #2 also.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, it's so good, you know, and every time we play to the audiences, I can't believe how many people still know the words and they're singing it right along with me.
At the height of your career, you had all these
Right.
records going. All of a sudden, you get drafted. Oh my gosh. And then you end up going to Vietnam.
Oh,
And
that was thrilling.
tell us about it.
Well, you know, I'm coming off my 7th top 10 in a row, and I get the letter, you know, "You shall join us." And I mean, it was the regular draft letter, you know, and after the shock of it, I remember the first thing I thought to say was, "Well, Elvis did it, I'll do it."
Wow.
And I did it. I went, you know, and it was okay because I was still in the States for the first year, but then the second year, I did go over to Vietnam, and I was only there for 3 months in a non-combat job, thank God. And then there was a big flare-up. The North Koreans took one of our ships, and everybody thought there'd be a big war up there, so everybody was transferred up to South Korea. And then a week after I got there, the whole thing blew over and it was done with. And I was in Korea for 8 months, which I don't mind telling you, I'm glad that happened. I'd rather be there than Vietnam, you know.
Sure.
So, you know, that's what happened. And then I got back in '68, and all of a sudden I'm hearing these new people in rock and roll. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors. And I'm going, where do I fit into this? You know, I mean, I was able to stay up on the charts, but my music wasn't that heavy, you know, and I didn't want to just play what was happening just for the sake of staying in the business. When I got out of the service, I was able to tour for 2 years on the strength of songs that were released while I was in the service. I had remakes of Sealed with a Kiss and Listen to the Rhythm of the Falling Rain. We did remakes of those, and they went into the top 40, but you know, things were calming down for my kind of music. And and then into the 70s, 70s wasn't very kind to 60s artists because the music was getting very heavy, and I was finding out that if I wanted to keep playing, I had to play clubs and do 4 and 5 sets a night. You know, it really different, really different. So I did it. I did that until '72, and then I decided I'm out. You know, things are just not happening, and I bought a music store in Southern California. I sold guitar and drums and gave lessons on both. And I did that until 1984, when this agent called me and said, "Hey man, the 60s are coming back." I said, "Who is this?" the hell is this? You know? And he says, no, really, really, it is coming back. And I can book you 60 to 100 dates a year. And I told him, if you can do it, I'll play them. And that's what's been happening since '84.
Fantastic. That is amazing, isn't it? And there's so many groups that are doing this. I mean, it's like a revival, and because that music is timeless. It's beautiful music.
It is timeless music. Yes, absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yes, I mean, and it for the baby boomers, who were there when all this incredible music was coming out, and for them now to still go to a concert and still see those favorite bands and relive those memories and just bring back happy times. I mean, and you mentioned already, Gary, a couple of times, just how good it makes you feel personally. I mean, I've never had the opportunity to, but I can't even imagine going out on a stage, having a band, going out on stage and playing this awesome music. And I could see the audience kind of, they know the lyrics to all of my songs. It's like, wow, what a buzz that must be. I mean, really.
I know. And another great realization happened like about 1990 is that I thought to myself, I said, the fans are the ones that put us all where we are. So I started wanting to give back to the fans. So every single night that we play a show, after the show, I tell them we're going to be out in the lobby. We got tables set up. We'd be glad to sign whatever you want us to sign. Just come up and say hello, whatever, And I really feel like I'm giving back to the fans by doing that because they love it,
Sure.
The chance to meet me and the band and all that.
That's very generous of you.
Well, but that's another realization that I'm glad I came across, because so many bands will just do their show and leave. They won't go out and see fans or anything like that. And I don't agree with that at all.
I think you're absolutely right. And I know a lot of the Chicago bands, we have a group, a bunch of musicians in Chicago known as the Cornerstones of Rock. And they do that too. They set up the tables. They're always there for their fans. But I don't think everybody does that. So it's really something.
No, all of them definitely do not do that. But usually when we do package shows with 4 and 5 other acts on the show, they always do go out too.
Good.
So
the fans love that.
See that. Yeah, they do love it. I mean, they flip out sometimes. Really, it's great.
Yeah. And that personal satisfaction, I can see how it really affects you. You seem like a really nice, warm, genuine person. Your heart is filled with gratitude. It shows. And I just want to ask you how, through all your ups and downs in your career, what have you learned, and what could you share with other people that what's touched you the most in your life?
The fact that you never stop growing. Don't accept where you are as permanence. There's always places to go. If you love what you're doing, explore, stick with it. You love this. That's what I tell people.
I love this. This is great advice.
Gary, how can our audience, how could they connect with you through social media, website? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we have Gary Lewis and the Playboys page on Facebook, and that's what it is, Gary Lewis and the Playboys.com on Facebook. And let me see, how else can they get in touch with us? Well, our website, GaryLewisandthePlayboys.com also.
Okay.
Two different ways.
That's great.
And the websites are set up that they can write us if they want. They can request pictures or whatever. And it's, it's nothing special, but I set up the website to where we can constantly add pictures, new pictures, old pictures, whatever it is. So we update things, and
it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what's the best, in closing, Gary, what's the best thing that ever happened to you?
Getting into music.
Good answer.
Good answer.
It really is. I don't even have another thought. Tons of great things happen, like Diamond Ring going to #1.
Yeah.
That happened. But yeah, getting into music is the best thing that could have happened, because I always wanted to since I started playing drums.
Great.
And it sounds like once things get back to normal with the pandemic, hopefully sometime in 2021, we get the feeling that as soon as you can, you'll be back out on the road touring and playing.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want, because it's not big. It's because of what I do. That's my work, so I miss that.
Yeah.
But I just want to keep going, I'm 75 now, and I'm going to keep doing shows until I need to come out on stage with a walker.
If I'm not mistaken, I've seen you used to play the double kick drums, right? Double two bass drums, right? How easy, or how was that? Was that easy for you to learn, or?
Well, I'll tell you a secret.
Okay.
This is a secret. The only reason I had double bass drums is because I couldn't get the whole name on one.
Oh, I see.
I never played the second one.
Oh my! That's
Gary,
great. That's
Gary
great.
Lewis and the Playboys.
It's a great logo, by the way. I love the look of that.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's great. Well, Gary, thank you so much. This has been a blast. Joe and I have just totally enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You take care, and hopefully we'll meet again, and hopefully you'll be playing in Chicago.
I would love to. I'd love to.
Awesome.
And thank you. And before I depart, just a few words. Thank you, Pam, very much. And Gary, what an honor and pleasure for us to have you join us tonight. Thank you very much. And thank you for the enormous talent and dynamite songs you have given us. Thank you. And if you want to stay in touch with Gary, Gary Lewis and the Playboys.com. They're also on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. Right. For us, Dick Biondi, DickBiondiFilm.com. We have a Facebook group, Facebook page, and an awesome YouTube channel. And be sure to subscribe. And before I depart, it's the holiday season. Go to our website, DickBiondiFilm.com. Get yourself maybe a Dick Biondi t-shirt or a mug or both. So check us out there. There you go, Pam. Everything tastes better when it's in a Dick Biondi mug. Absolutely.
It really does.
So
all right.
Thank you, everybody. Pam, thank you. Gary, my friend, awesome. What a pleasure. Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you, Gary. Thank
All
you,
righty.
Joe. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll see you next
Bye.
time.
All right.
Bye.